Think about the last conversation you had. At some point, did you talk about someone who wasn't there? Did you share something you heard? About a friend? Did you whisper something to someone that you probably shouldn't have? If you did, you're not alone. And you're not a bad person. You're just human. Because gossip isn't a modern habit or a social flaw. It is one of the oldest and most important behaviors in all of human history. And today, we're going to find out exactly why your brain is wired to gossip and why the answer will completely change the way you think about it. First, let's clear something up. When most people hear the word gossip, they think of something negative. Spreading rumors, talking behind someone's back, something petty and shameful. But scientists define gossip very differently. To a researcher, gossip is simply the exchange of social information about people who are not present. That's it. Talking about what your friend did last weekend, discussing whether your colleague can be trusted, or sharing what you heard about someone in your community. All of this counts as gossip. And when you define it that way, something remarkable becomes clear. Almost every conversation humans have involves some form of gossip. Studies suggest that between 65 and 80% of all human conversation is gossip by this definition. Not rumors, not lies, just social information about other people. It is one of the dominant forms of human communication. And there has to be a reason for that. That reason was discovered by a scientist named Robin Dunbar. Dunbar is an evolutionary psychologist at Oxford University, and he spent years trying to understand why humans evolved such large, complex brains. His conclusion was surprising. Dunbar argued that the human brain didn't evolve primarily to solve problems or make tools. It evolved to manage social relationships, to keep track of who is trustworthy, who is dangerous, who is a good ally, who has been behaving badly, and who can be relied upon. In a group of early humans, knowing this information could mean the difference between survival and death. And gossip, the exchange of social information, was the primary tool humans used to gather and share this knowledge. Dunbar called gossip the human version of social grooming. Just as primates bond by grooming each other's fur, humans bond by sharing information about the social world around them. Gossip, in this theory, is not a flaw in human nature. It is part of the foundation of human society. Imagine living in a small group of 50 people 100,000 years ago. You cannot personally observe everyone in your group all the time. You cannot watch what they do when you're not around. But you need to know who to trust. Who cheated someone last week? Who is reliable in a crisis? Who shared their food and who hoarded it? Without this information, you are vulnerable. You might trust the wrong person. You might form the wrong alliance. You might share your resources with someone who will not share back. Gossip solved this problem. By sharing information about each other's behavior, early humans could build a collective picture of everyone in the group, even people they hadn't personally interacted with recently. Gossip was a social database, a shared memory for the entire tribe. The humans who gossiped effectively, who shared and received social information, had a significant survival advantage. They made better decisions about who to trust. They built stronger alliances. They avoided dangerous individuals. And they passed those advantages on to their children. But gossip didn't just help individuals, it helped the entire group function. Anthropologists have discovered something fascinating about gossip in small communities. Gossip acts as a form of social policing. When someone in a group behaves badly, when they cheat, lie, or take more than their share, gossip spreads that information rapidly through the community. The cheater's reputation suffers. People become less willing to cooperate with them, less willing to share with them, and less willing to include them. This creates a powerful incentive for good behavior. If everyone will know what you did, you're much less likely to do it. Researcher Matthew Feinberg at the University of Toronto found that gossip, specifically the threat of being gossiped about, can significantly reduce selfish behavior in groups. People behave better when they know others are watching and talking. Gossip, in this sense, is not just social bonding. It is social enforcement, an invisible force that can help hold communities together and keep individuals in line. Here's something you've definitely experienced. Hearing a juicy piece of gossip feels good, not just interesting, genuinely pleasurable. There's a reason for that. When you receive important social information, especially information about threats, cheaters, or dangerous individuals, your brain may release dopamine, the same reward chemical involved in motivation, pleasure, and learning. Your brain is rewarding you for gathering socially useful information. From an evolutionary perspective, this makes perfect sense. Information about who was untrustworthy could be critical for survival, so your brain evolved to make seeking and sharing that information feel rewarding. The pleasure you feel from gossip isn't necessarily a weakness. It may be your ancient brain doing exactly what it was designed to do, motivating you to gather information that could help keep you safe. But gossip isn't always beneficial, and it's important to be honest about that. When gossip becomes false information, when rumors replace facts, it can destroy reputations, damage relationships, and cause real harm. The same social mechanism that helps communities function can also become a weapon. The speed at which false information spreads through social networks is one of the dangerous features of modern life. And the pain caused by being the subject of false or malicious gossip is real. The science suggests that gossip itself isn't necessarily the problem. The problem is inaccurate gossip. Gossip that carries false information corrupts the very system it was designed to support. It can mislead people into trusting the wrong individuals and distrusting the right ones. The lesson isn't to stop gossiping. The lesson is to be careful about what you share, and to ask yourself whether what you're passing on is actually true. So the next time you find yourself whispering something to a friend about someone else, don't feel too guilty. You're doing something that humans have done for hundreds of thousands of years. Something that helped build trust, enforce fairness, and hold communities together long before laws or governments existed. Your instinct to share social information is ancient, powerful, and deeply human. Just make sure what you're sharing is true. Why we are. Because the answers are always stranger than you think.